Oh, you're welcome back. And it's time for us to look through the newspapers. We've got them all here. We've also got her, Nimwizi. What's up?
Hi, good morning, Kojo.
How was
it's
your
good to
weekend?
be here.
Not bad.
It was really good. Lovely, rainy Monday morning, and took me an extra hour to get out of bed.
Okay. Well, I'm impressed you still made it to work on time.
I did, barely.
Yeah.
But yes, it's so lovely when it rains in the morning, even more so when you can stay in bed. But anyway.
Yeah, well, it's never lovely for me because I can't stay in bed.
Right?
Yeah. But weekend, get up to anything good?
Church yesterday, lots of church yesterday, which is always amazing.
You need it. Yeah. Good.
Really?
So I see you are sort of, you are fit to join the rest of us today.
That's a good one. So good weekend yourself?
Yes, not bad. I took the little one to Cape Coast.
Oh.
Yeah. Went to hang with the family for a bit. That was nice.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. And we caught a bit of culture. We went to the Cape Coast Castle.
Is that what phrase of the day? We caught a bit of culture.
So everything is of the day.
It's caught a bit of culture, which means that's what?
We went to the Cape Coast Castle.
Ah, right.
That's
okay.
what it means. Right. It was good. Fifi enjoyed it. It was his first trip.
Well, good morning, Fifi.
Yeah.
If you're awake.
Indeed. He is. He's on his way to school by now, I'm sure.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and yeah, it was good. But I noticed that the tour guides, there's something. You know, first of all, look, tour guides do a great job. They're a very valuable part of the maintenance and propagation of our heritage. So I really respect what they do. But the one that I had, I think is a bit jaded, you know, because it's all a recital for him now. You know, he's just going through the words and I've been there a number of times, but each time I've been there in the past, I've been hit by the same strong emotions about where we've come from, what we've done to ourselves, and what we need to do to move forward. That is one thing that everybody takes away from a visit to the castle. But this time around, I felt like I was listening to something that he had written down and recited over 100 times. He was tired, ready to go home, and was just going through it.
He has written it down and he has recited it over 100 times. It's difficult to keep something fresh when you've said it over and over and over and over again. Yes, of course.
That is the job. What he has to do is to carry along every person who visits that place, you know, and give them an experience.
As if it was their first time.
Absolutely. Yes. You know, and have a conversation with them. They will ask you questions, give them, but the worst part was this. They are now referring to slavery as forced migration.
Oh.
I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where that comes from, but to be perfectly honest, whichever organization is in charge of it, whether it's Museums and Monuments Board or whatever, we have some organization in this country responsible for our heritage, please check that. Don't be telling people that slavery was forced migration.
That completely belittles everything that people went through during that period. And I've been there. I've been there once. I think it was about 2 years ago for the first time, and I was moved to tears. I mean, it was so sad. You know, especially when, you know, they tell you about how they would bring the women down and they would rape them and they would just leave them in chains outside, and it was harrowing. And you know the part where they would put them into the boat and then where it leaves from that little tunnel and the little hole that they go through, you know, and all of these things that you know, we went through, and the fact that we sold ourselves really you know, for guns and stuff like that is harrowing. So to belittle it like that, it's definitely a no-no for me. I don't think anybody would think of it as forced migration.
And again, we are doing this. We Ghanaians are saying these words. They're coming out of our mouths. You know, we're doing this to ourselves. And what are we, is this some foreign donor that is encouraging us to do this?
Yeah, I won't be surprised.
If it is, then we're selling ourselves again, aren't we?
Yes.
You know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
It's very unfortunate.
For our ancestors to have gone through all of that, to come to a point where it will all be described, all the beating, the caning, the throwing them into the sea, tying chains to them and just throwing the first one so the rest of them just follow, all into the sea, to lighten the load of a ship so they can keep the spice, lose the humans. They go through all of that, and today you call it forced migration. We failed. Honestly, whoever is in charge, please get that language out of the mouths of our tour guides. We can't be telling people that was forced migration. There were people from the United States in my group, and even they were shocked.
That it was being called forced migration. Did you ask him?
I spoke to him afterwards.
And what did he say?
What he said was a lot of the literature that they are picking the information from use that expression. And I asked what literature. He couldn't tell me. But yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, the newspapers now. So I have the Ghanaian Times, the Gold Street Business, the Daily Dispatch, the Herald, the Today newspaper, the Independent, and the Inquisitor. What do you have, Kojo?
I have, and I've just been captured by a story about Tiffany Haddish, which I'll touch on later. You know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Yes, yes, yes.
Comedian,
great
actress.
Comedian, actress,
yes.
Beautiful. Got a big crush on Tiffany Haddish.
Okay,
I like
Kojo.
funny women.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got the Daily Statesman, the Daily Graphic, the Economy Times, the Daily Guide, the Finder, and then the Daily Democrat and the Observer. I'll do them in that order.
Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm starting with the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Ghana tops FDI in Western due to prudent economic management. That's according to the president. Ex-President Rawlings Zoomlion Forestry Commission plants trees to mark June 4th uprising. And Steve Mallory's application dismissed Veep appeals for calm in Tripoli. And police grab woman 32 for attempted murder. On the back page of the Ghanaian Times, Kotoko lift 2019 Otumfuo Cup.
Yep.
And moving on to the Gold Street Business, foreign reserves drawn down by $612 million in April, but balance of payments positive at last. 379.6 million Ghana cedis, public entities bad loans to be written off. Government still facing deficits, financing shortfalls. That's the front page of the Gold Street Business. I'm moving on to the Daily Dispatch. So the Daily Dispatch is carrying these stories. Why resort to violence now after living for 300 years? After living for over 300 years, Dominic Nitter will ask Rollins, Revolution and Populist Democracy. All you need to know about the controversial 1992 elections. That's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch. On the front page of the Herald, Rawlings and Zoomlion plants June 4th anniversary trees. Akufo-Addo buries Ayawaso West gun violence report. Nearly 75 days after its submission, President's daughter flies King Promise to UK for her lavish birthday party. EC recruitment for limited voter registration faltered. That's on the front page of the Herald newspaper. On the front page of the Today, go to court for your monies and then pay customers. Ndum charges Gold Coast. DCE swindles orphans. NLA trains graduates in solar panel installation and maintenance. That's the front page of the Today newspaper. Moving on to the Independent. Let's fight poverty and not each other. Baumia calls for peace in Tripoli. Open defecation in the face of GHS and AMA. Artificial intelligence. Ghana has to be wary of recolonization. Chinri Hesri, gosh, I couldn't agree more. Stop using oil resources as collateral for loans. PIAC cautions the government. And finally, on the front page of the Inquisitor, waking up from sleep, Amidu in image crisis. NLA upskilled graduates on solar panels. Unacceptable. Minus teenagers turn airport city pavement into sleeping arena. And that's it for the front page of the Inquisitor, and that's it from my papers. Moving on, Kojo?
Moving on, the Daily Statesman has these banner headline, let's kill poverty, not people. Vice President urges peace in Tripoli. Interest on Maslock loans to be cut by half. Credit terms ease as loans agency moves to cover the whole country. How Tiffany Haddish became an Eritrean, very touching story. But there's a point to be made there. I'll touch on that in a short while. Daily Graphic has these. New companies act game changer. It'll eliminate shady ownership deals. That's according to Mr. Tony Oteng-Gyasi. Right, very important. Now, Moffat suspends export of selected vegetables. This is interesting. Capsicum, which is a group of chili peppers, and cucumbers, some cucumbers, and all leafy vegetables will be affected by this. Very interesting, and there's a reason for it. Details in the Daily Graphic. Government makes headway in U.S. visa restrictions, according to Ajay Bewa. GEPA strategizes to increase market share. Ghana Export Promotion Authority is the one being referred to here. Right, on the back page of the Daily Graphic, Kotoko beat ASEC to lift trophy and Liberty win to finish third. Right, let's have a quick look at the Economy Times. Public debt rises to 198 billion Ghana cedis. Yeah. Government fiscal deficit widens. Ghana records 1.2 billion US dollar trade surplus. Yes, okay. Daily Guide has these. Front page, Daily Guide. Rawlings floors Africa Watch in court. Also, NPP will beat NDC with positive record, according to Samia Oku. Goyle's profit soars, and we won't compromise fiscal discipline. That's on page 6. Also on the back page, Mita Samoa stars new deputy captain. Also, Kotoko Pip ASEC to lift Otumfuo Cup, and Korean Embassy and GTF and NSA deepen ties. All right then. The Finder has these. National Identification Authority, 1.2 million registered. Accra East mass registration starts on the 4th of June. Also, Traditional Council assures of incident-free Homowo. 198 billion Ghana cedi public debt is 57.5% of GDP. Yeah. We did not waive bills for Krobo residents, according to PDS, and that particular melee continues. Daily Democrat, nothing but the truth, they say. And here's their banner headline: Akufo-Addo girl brags at export promotion. No one can sack me. Ifua Asabia Asare is the one they are referring to. Okay. Vigilantism bills. Stakeholders warn government to hasten slowly. And on the front page, Prinpag elects new officers. And their pictures are here. Akufo-Addo boy fingered in car fraud coming soon, according to the Daily Democrat. Put that to one side. And the Ghanaian Observer is here as well. Baumia appeals for peace in Chirpone, urges feuding factions to fight poverty and not each other. CRI lauds the First Lady. NLA and NABCO train graduates on solar-powered e-kiosk. And GEPA strategies to increase market share. Also, Rawlings plants trees to mark June 4th uprising. And use policy summits to tweak government programs. So Guamahene is the one saying this. A few sports stories on the back page of the Ghanaian Observer this morning. Baba Armando congratulates Ayu. Tekbete grateful to Paderborn. And Achu kicks off AFCON 2019 preparations. And that does it.
Right.
So I wanted to touch
Tell
on this.
me on Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish's father is from Eritrea, the East African state.
Okay.
And they went to America, well, he went to America as a refugee. Tiffany was born in America, is an American citizen, has been all this time, but has dreamed of having dual citizenship, you know, and securing her Eritrean identity. It happened, finally, for her, and it has captured the attention of the American press because of how excited she is about it. And you know she has a way. You know.
Yeah, she seems excited about her. Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
So it's just caught on, and the concept of getting in touch with your roots and identity has suddenly become a talking point among the young Americans who are shaping, you know, the trends around the world. So people like Kim Kardashian, who also has a Armenian heritage. Everybody is talking about their heritage, tweeting about it, posting about it, and this is Ghana's year of return.
Return, yeah.
It is a massive opportunity, not just for the government of Ghana. I'm not going to do that whole thing, government, what are you doing about it? Clearly they're doing nothing, but there are things that you and I can do. Very important things that we can do to take advantage, to monopolize on this. You run a business, all of a sudden you have a global customer base available to you. So start thinking as such. Stop thinking Ghana, Ghana, Ghana. My company is in Ghana. I remember I moderated a session at the first ever Ghana CEO Summit. And I asked the room full of the leading businessmen in the country, I asked them, how many of you want to have a global customer base? Only about 4 or 5 people lifted their hands. So we interrogated, and they all said, well, it's not an achievable goal. We want to focus on achievable goals.
Right.
That was a pity, but they might have been right back then. They are not right today. Today there is an opportunity. So for me, the most important thing that I wish people would take out of this is that there is opportunity now, global opportunity.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, there was a story of the Ghana Folklore Board seeking to sue
Black Panther, yeah, for the use of kente.
What did you think about that?
It was cute.
Okay, so I read it and thought, okay, I can see how this will play out, but there are some details we have to be aware of. First of all, Marvel is an American company. I don't think there are any Africans shareholding, owning shares at Marvel. But they've told an African story and portrayed African culture in it, which is great. It's put us on the map. But if they had, for example, gone to film outside a BMW depot in Germany, would they not have gone through the right processes, sought the right permissions before doing that?
It's a matter of respect and relevance.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Now, if they want to use kente in their film, do they even know
where
who
it
to
comes
call
from? Yes.
and ask? Yeah. First of all, do they know where it comes from?
Yeah,
Second, do they know who to call and ask for permission? So what are you suing them for?
And if they do find who to ask for permission, how long will it take before the process would still be waiting for Black Panther?
So you see, for me, Black Panther ought to be an opportunity. We ought to look at it and say, okay, look, some people who we could have made some business with have just demonstrated an opportunity and it's gone. So let's look at the next opportunity.
Learn from it,
Let's go and speak to them. Now, maybe filing a lawsuit might have been a way of getting leverage before that conversation. Fair enough. That's what some lawyers might advise you to do. And then you go into the meeting and you have some leverage and you can make, which is fair enough. But the folklore people need to be far more concerned about the Chinese who are manufacturing 95% of the kente that the world is buying. And by the way, African Artifacts is a $1 trillion business in the United States alone.
Wow.
Okay, so the Chinese are making 95%. Fake kente, not the real weaving thing. The one you saw in Black Panther is Chinese, it's not Ghanaian. They wouldn't come and buy the actual Ghanaian kente when it would make no difference to your eyes on the screen. They bought the one you can buy on the street in Brooklyn, made in China. That's what they used. So if really we want to sue someone, perhaps the Chinese. Oh, but wait, we have a $2 billion Sino-Hydro deal with them.
Yeah, I was just
go there. All right, let's get to some other stories.
Kojo. I do love that though, because my relationship with the Chinese it's a relationship that worries me a lot. But anyway, something else that worries me a lot is, have you ever driven, okay, so for example, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did a corporate jam at Soho, Marina Mall. When you were leaving, that's if you came, because I didn't see you.
I was there briefly.
Okay. Did you see the boys and the young men who were sleeping at the side?
Yes.
Okay.
I see them many
all
nights.
The time, yes. So apparently, and this story is being carried in the Inquisitor, is the fact that they're calling them their hotel rooms. So the Inquisitor is saying that these boys have turned the pavement into their hotel rooms, and they're sleeping there night after night. They wake up after 7 a.m. Wow. It's amazing though, this is like the peace that passes all understanding. So you're sleeping on a sidewalk and you sleep till after 7.
Indeed.
I mean, the world
peace deep within their hearts.
So there are, anyway, so they wake up at 7 and then they kind of just hit the streets immediately, those doing the car wash and, doing all of that. And so, okay, so he spoke to them, and the Inquisitor spoke to one of them, a 14-year-old boy. And he said that he's been sleeping there for the past 2 years. He says, my parents are alive, but they don't care about where I sleep, what I do, and what I eat. But what pains me is that the big people are aware of our plight. He said, I don't want you to ask me about rainfall and mosquitoes because we have become used to those things. As you can see, none of us has a sleeping cloth or gown, but we're okay. Wow. He sounded very down. He told them that they engage in menial jobs to survive. Some of us have joined criminal gangs because of the hardship on the streets. He said, we're fully aware of the dangers here, but we don't have anywhere else to go. And that is why you see us comfortably sleeping on the pavements here. Yeah. So it's really, really sad, you know, and the bit that he said that actually concerns me more than any other part is the fact that this is the beginning of the criminal gang system, you know, because you find, you know, gangs of boys on the streets and, you know, they're hustling, they're building loyalty within each other because they're looking out for each other. And then the next thing you know, they've evolved into some sort of robbers, into armed robbers and stuff like that. But it also speaks about our social welfare system, doesn't it? Because there really is no support.
Well, there is no social welfare system.
Yes, for these boys, and then I'm thinking also about the fact that, you know, this is how terrorist hubs are created, when you can find people who are not happy and who are sleeping on the streets, and when you band people together, you give them a cause and something to fight for and a reward, you know, then it becomes really rife ground for this kind of thing. I wish I had a solution, but then again, this is why I pay tax and vote, so that somebody else can come up with a solution.
Yeah, very often when we discuss things in the media, somebody says, well, don't just announce the problems, give us the solution. You want me, on my meager salary, to do the job that I am already paying someone a massive, rather fat salary.
Was that a side job at Chrissy Chum?
Oh no, Mr. Chum is doing a fantastic job. He doesn't call on me to solve national problems.
No, he doesn't.
You know, so he and I, we can discuss salary. We can discuss it a bit later. But you know, in reality, I have a job to do.
Yes.
My job is to alert the people
and to bring
who are paying someone to solve their problem. Alert them that they are not doing it, so that you will make them do it, not so that you will come and tell me to do it. Me, hey. So yeah, that's the idea, right? You're paying someone to solve these problems, and this is a real problem that you're highlighting. These kids, they're national assets that we're wasting.
Yeah, speaking of national assets, you know the girls are back. The girls who won the robotics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, amazing stuff. So hopefully we'll get to talk to them soon.
I'm so excited, and of course, if that conversation happens, it'll be here at Multimedia, so please stay tuned.
Of course,
and we'll bring it to you. We'll bring it to you. Those kids are fantastic, such an inspiration.
I know.
My son is their big fan now. Oh. Yeah, he says they beat the whole world.
They beat the whole world.
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
I like that. They beat the whole world.
Yeah. So
did you have something you wanted to?
I was just thinking about this Ministry of Food and Agriculture suspension of the export of selected vegetables.
Yeah, I saw it as well.
It's just our quality is just not good enough. They keep stopping them, intercepting them at international borders, and they're going waste. Okay, so they're saying, look, let's stop this for a minute. Let's stop the export of some of these products and work on getting them better.
But you talked about pepper, like batbushito and stuff, right?
No, capsicum. Which kind of pepper is that?
I think capsicum is the green.
The green one.
The green, not ojinma. The green big, not the sweet one. Batbushito, like the peppers.
Papusht. That's what they call it in English. Yeah, that's the English word.
That's not the English word.
Of course it is.
No, it's not.
Please, why do you doubt me?
Why shouldn't I doubt you?
English word of the day.
Papusht. Papusht. Yeah. Which other vegetables have been banned? I heard you say cucumber.
Cucumber, all leafy greens.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And then the capsicum. Yeah.
So we're not even.
Not all cucumber, by the way. Just a particular strain of it. It's called Soladum lufa.
Right. I see, and that's because it's not reaching international.
They keep stopping them, you know, because they contain all kinds of shocking stuff.
Okay. Right. Do we have enough time for my artificial intelligence story?
Oh my God! They say our time is up. Oh. What is he saying?
He's just saying that if we're not careful, we'll be recolonized because we're not, you know, keeping up with the artificial intelligence movement that's going on. And a lot of the platforms of artificial intelligence here in Ghana are owned by foreigners, and so they have access to our content, and so we need to be careful.
Absolutely. Because very important point. Very important point. Nobody's thinking about. Yeah, it's all part of sovereignty, you know. It's all part of sovereignty, being able to control your own destiny. This is where it all begins. You heard the EC chair talking about how our entire democracy was in the hands of some foreign company.
Yeah,
and they said we were not trainable. Can you believe that?
I am aghast.
Anyway, Anyway, time for sports. And Benedict and the team have all the headlines. Stay tuned. When we come back, by the way, Nusaf Husseini and Bernard Mona right here in the studio. We're talking about all things that matter to you. Stay with us.